Welcome to Conversations with Anne Elizabeth, the podcast inspired by my book, I'm a Registered Dietitian, Now What?, where I have the absolute joy to sit back, relax, and have a conversation about nutrition with a variety of people who share their personal story of passion and purpose, especially registered dietitians. Today's conversation is with Jonathan Valdez, a registered dietitian from New York City who works hard, plays hard, and goes full force into his career and life all on his own terms. If you want a little nudge to go after what you want in your life, this conversation is for you. Jonathan is embracing everything when it comes to saying hell yeah in his life. Becoming a dietitian was a long and winding road for him, and he shares how he stayed the course and is now living a life he loves for right now. He is not afraid to ask for what he wants and is passionate about balancing his professional life and personal life to be the best version of himself. Please enjoy my conversation with Jonathan. Well, I couldn't be more excited for this conversation today. I've been waiting to chat with you because I'm probably a little tiny obsessed with you, but
why are you obsessed with me?
Because I love that you live your life and you just do your thing. And that is and you're still like this awesome professional who does everything you possibly can for a profession. It's admirable. So I think that's great about you.
Oh, thanks, boo-boo.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I want to talk about you and how you just kind of your journey into dietetics and kind of where you're at and where you see yourself. So take me back to when little Jonathan was deciding what he wanted to be when he wanted to grow up. What kind of got you here?
So when I fell from heaven, I was born in paradise in Hawaii, in the lovely island of Oahu. Just growing up, doing your own childhood stuff, And when it came around high school, it's just early 2000s, people were talking about organic and GMOs. So I didn't know any better. So my friend who was vegan at the time was like, oh my God, you need to be vegan. You need to do all these things, follow PETA. And I was like, oh my God, I need to do that. Yes, I need to follow this. I need to care for the animals, the plants, and my body. And so I was actually vegan for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. And at the time I wanted to be a veterinarian, after I failed to get into any school to be a psychologist. And so my first semester at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, I took an animal science class and learned about animals and how actually they're treated very well compared to what's shown. And I also, at the same time, I took my first nutrition class. I knew that would have been my backup if veterinarian didn't go through. So after all the politics, I learned about from animal science department, I was like, yeah, about that life. I don't think so. So, so I decided I'm going to do nutrition. And so when I got deeper into it, at the same time, I saw a dietitian and she's like, your iron's are low. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm a vegan probably. It's like, well, you need to eat more vegetables with spinach and, things with iron and beans. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So I was doing it wrong the whole time. And, when you change a diet, according to PETA, they don't really fortify your knowledge of if you're not taking these foods, what you need to replace it with. So that was the message that didn't come across at that time. And so I was like, you know what? This is all wrong. I was like, screw this. I'm going to have a piece of steak.
After I was 5 years of not eating it.
Exactly. And after being teased from my friends, be like, John, do you want a piece of steak? I know you do. I'm like, oh, meat is murder. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I eat it. I went to the club at that time and then I actually broke out in hives. And I was like, oh my God, this is my body rejecting food. And then I was like, but it tastes so good. And so fortunately, I didn't develop any food allergies afterwards. It was just a fluke after that weekend. I was totally fine. And since then I've, I went from being carnivore, not hating vegetables, went to the next extreme. And then now I'm in a happy medium. And
good.
So, yeah. And, that was one portion of it. And then actually my grandmother died from diabetes. And even before, and that's why dietetics was my second choice because I wanted to know more about nutrition. But also because I didn't understand when she died, like the complications related because of renal failure, uncontrolled diabetes. And so both of those together really driven my passion. But growing up in Hawaii, on Oahu, there wasn't as much. The education was good. They still passed the recommendations, but it didn't open doors like corporate did. And so it took like about 3 years to get into internship. Like,
wow.
At the third, yeah, I know, ridiculous, right? Like, look at me now, like you would never know.
No.
Not to brag, but I'm just saying. So I was at the like lowest point in my career. It's like, I was going to just skip out of dietetics and be like, you know what, I'm going to go for an MBA because I know they make more money and stuff. But I didn't get accepted to that school. Her name is Judith Beto. She's a renal expert and kind of created the whole renal aspect of it, from what I was told. She did a talk at her conference in Hawaii. And she's like, you need to do this program. Dominican University, MBA coordinated program. And I was like, what is that? What is that? Like, oh, they don't do matching. So that's why it's like this secret quote unquote club. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. That's so cool. And so I looked at the cost and I was like, like I was going to die. And it's like, because it's exorbitant amount of cash. It's like 2 years, you get your master's, but it's like, hello, $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And so.
But it's your MBA and your dietetics degree then, or your internship is all in that?
Yes, it's all in that. It's all encompasses one. And the benefits of doing a coordinated program is because you have financial aid, right? Otherwise you would have to, if you're poor like me, then you would have to take out private loans. Yeah, exactly. You have to like walk on the streets or something, turn some tricks. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I totally didn't do that, but no, I still have some level of dignity.
Do.
So, I went for my third year, unmatched, like bottom of anything possible. And I looked into it and it's like, I have 10 days to turn my application in order for it to be even considered. So I literally called up my old professor. I was like, oh my God, I need your assistance. Please save me. I need to get out of here. I love the island, but I need to get out. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. And she rushed it. My boss at the time, I was working for Women's Infant Children for 2 years. She was all on board. And I think it was like 4 weeks later, they're like, oh, we decided to choose you. And I was like, oh my God, like, I guess someone does recognize me. Even though I didn't have to break. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it's just like after 3 years of not being accepted, it's like,
well, and were you only applying in your, like in Hawaii? Is that where you were applying for your internships?
We didn't have any internships at that time.
Oh, really?
They used to have an MPH coordinated program. It dismantled because of poor political organization and then or anything even low rates of people getting in. So they dismantled it, and so you really had to go out of Oahu in order to do it. Exactly. Or you could have done Sodexo, because Sodexo, they have a certain amount. And you go to, I think it's, yeah, exactly. And then and then you go to Delaware for a few weeks and then you come back and then you do, you can do it in Hawaii. But I just didn't want to stay there. I didn't think it would have expanded my horizon as much as I wanted it to.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's totally understandable. So maybe like Hawaii is the best place to become a dietitian?
Is or isn't? Sorry.
Is not. Like, it's very difficult to get.
I think because I grew up in Paradise, like I really took for granted going to the beach, having amazing seafood, And so when I moved, I didn't really appreciate as much as I know I should have until I left. So I went to Chicago. And mind you, I think that city is amazing, third biggest city in the nation. lots of opportunities, big corporations, especially if that's where like most of the money is for our profession. And so I was like, oh my God, after I'm finished with my internship, I totally want to work for a big corporation. Unfortunately, most of them don't live in this loop in the city, or at least there was any jobs availability. And I looked for salary wise in comparison to New York City. It wasn't there. I looked at, and then I compared crime rates and stuff. So,
which is important if you're going to live in a big city.
Right. So I paid cheap rent living in Medical District in Chicago, where Rush Hospital is. And it was like $500 a month for a renovated place. But you have to keep your eyes open. You have to have pepper spray ready because you don't know who's going to chase after you. Like I got mugged on the train, 9 a.m. in the morning, going to my internship. Right.
You're kidding.
No, I wish I was. I wish it was this MTV fake special, right?
Like who's punking me?
Yes. No, and people around the train didn't do anything.
They just watched it happen.
Exactly. And even a month after that, like 5 people, after I got off the train, 5 people were chasing after me. I went into a random person's car who picked me up and he literally dropped me off at home. Like,
oh my God, John, that's crazy.
I know. Like,
get me out of here.
I could be like talking to you from heaven right now. Like,
you could. That's why that's scary. Because could not be here because of that.
Right. So I knew a year before I finished my internship that I was going to move to New York City. I knew somebody who already lived here that I met through college. He was here working at a big firm for an architecture company. So I was like, reach out, like, hey, do you have any openings next year when I graduate? He's like, yes. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely coming. I literally pinched every single money I had. I did an Excel sheet. I literally saved every money I had. Sometimes I would even go on dates so I can eat dinner.
Hey, I will never not think of that being a legit reason.
Yeah. You want to watch your favorite movie and you poor, sometimes you might have to go on a date.
Yep. You might have to just swipe right on that one.
I know, exactly. Survival skills.
Right.
I know. So
that was a tough 2 years. That was tough to, first of all, to afford the program, then move to Chicago and then feel unsafe and not even feel like, I mean, was it hard to even want to complete your internship a little bit?
No,
you still felt
really,
like,
really,
no,
yes,
I gotta do this.
Like, yes, exactly. I feel like I needed, because I didn't see any doors open if I didn't complete it. I mean, I know some people who had left, but I realized like I needed to get this done and then I gotta leave. But don't get me wrong. I've met so many amazing people in Chicago. Melissa Dobbins, Kim Kircher, who worked at the time National Dairy Council. Ginger Holton. She's a media spokesperson for the Academy. I met amazing people that did amazing things, who inspired me to be a better person, a better professional. So with that being said, my internship, it was difficult. There were difficult times in terms of acceptance for being gay, even though they proposed diversity, it wasn't as diverse as I wanted it to be.
How so? Just like the types of individuals or the acceptance of diversity? A little bit of both, and even just the mindset of the people I met there, the people I crossed paths with. And I say this in comparison. I grew up in Hawaii, right? It's the minority. I'm a majority in Hawaii. Like, there's only in high school, there was only maybe like 10 Caucasians and less than 5 African Americans. No one from Spain or
Latino countries or any other else in the world. But when I went to Chicago, it's like, I'm the only Filipino for like miles.
Like, for miles and miles.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you know, and the
it's
seafood.
Still the Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, so food wise, I felt like it was a food desert for me too. And so.
Interesting. It probably was.
Yeah. So collectively it was, I mean, I still love the food. Like, oh my God, the best Mexican food place that we had, best burgers, like all the American food. Oh, Chicago.
You
oh my
found
God.
some good stuff.
Exactly. Oh man. If anyone needs tips, I got you. I got you.
You would be a good resource for sure.
Right.
So you finished up your internship. You got the hell out of there and you headed off to New York City because you had some friends that live there, which is awesome. That's always nice to have someone to connect with when you move to a new city.
Yes, it was the cornerstone of how I was able to survive, grow more than I would have ever imagined. Like, I never imagined, you know, I've been a dietitian almost, in August would be 5 years.
Okay.
So even 5 years ago, I would have never known that, you know, I would have started my own practice, that I would be having my dream job of working from home, full time, or even launching a magazine. Like, those things was not even, I wasn't even thinking about this. I was just like, I need to get out. I need to do something. Mm-hmm. So when I came to New York City, and really, network, one of the most important people that I've met, Alyssa Rumsey, who's also a previous media spokesperson for the Academy. I geared towards her direction of starting up your own practice, getting in the media, giving media quotes. And I never, you know how people tell you, say no when you can't handle it? No.
Yes.
I'm used to working 80 hours a week from college.
Seriously?
So
that's a lot.
Yeah. When you're an RA, a resident advisor, there's no such thing as a break. Yeah. You're
that's
literally
true.
working 24 hours a day. Something happens.
That's true.
Yes. But this time when I'm working more, I'm getting paid more, right? So,
yes, that is definitely true. Hopefully.
So Alyssa, she really helped me, wrote me into things. I never said no to her. And, so now I'm a New York State Academy of Nutrition Dietetics media spokesperson. And we're helping with the PR committee for Greater New York Dietetic Association. But I'm kind of teetering away from doing volunteering because I've been doing it for 10 years.
So long. Yeah. Did you got there? Because is that how you kind of got your footing as a dietitian, like trying to meet other dietitians and making those connections by joining those groups?
Yes, exactly. From Hawaii is when I started. You know, I help with implementing RDN Day. I help with passing licensure. And so from there and doing that, I'm just like, you know, I think I've networked with enough, I know enough dietitians to be like, if I have a question, I'll be able to get it answered. So my next step now is to network outside, you know, leveraging things that we don't really think about, you know, like flight deals. Like my friend, she works for Hawaiian Airlines. Like I can go home once a year on like half the price, you know, like things like that we as dietitians don't really think about. We think of salaries, but we don't actually think about, you know, breaking down our costs in order to maximize our quality of life. So when I network outside, my friend who's been here from Hawaii, went to the same high school for 10 years. That's how I get invited to all these parties. You know, I get to meet celebrities and we go to like, sometimes there's big events where they have cocktail competitions, or they may have like tonight I'm going to Epicure, or I don't know. There's always something happening and you don't drop a dime at all because a lot of it's free. It's like marketing that they're trying to do, or they're selling a product because there's so diversity here is amazing, outrageous. Yes, exactly. You invite somebody to one party, you're going to reach probably more than 1 million people through social media, and those aspects. So I was able to get cheap rent here. When I moved to New York City, I started paying $600 a month. Now I only pay $520.
Wow.
I know. I go to, amazing events, and that leads me to basically where I am now. Even launching our magazine. He's actually a nurse that I work with. He does photography. So he's like, oh my gosh, you're a male here working? Because in healthcare, usually nurses are females, dietitians are females. So it's like, oh my God, 2 unicorns hanging out.
Right. So, that's so true. And you have to flock together in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And so we launched this magazine last year, and his photography skills are amazing. I'm learning so much.
So I did not know he was the person that launched the magazine. I guess you have to explain more about that. So I love this whole idea. I love your whole idea of, yes, I'm a dietitian, but there's so much more for me, and there's so many other connections I can make. And that's important to have a very well-rounded, fulfilled life outside of just being a dietitian.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I'm very passionate about my career, the lifestyle that I can have because of my job. But exactly, there's other things. People come up to me and say, oh my God, you live this, I have to live vicariously through you, because I work 10-hour days. I have to go into the office while you're at home. You can just, after you're done with work, you just quickly get dressed, and then you can go out and maybe sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning and still get enough sleep. So, going back to to our magazine, yes. So Guild Magazine is a premium lifestyle magazine, and we cater to traveling, beauty, fashion and food. And so, obviously, I'm the food director of that portion of it. And, I cater to restaurants in New York City, or today I just reached out from somebody from Chicago, and we're kind of slowly expanding our hold in that industry. Because it's so unique to be part of a magazine now, because especially now, I can incorporate having a professional, being a dietitian, you're a food director, and you're spreading news about food, but at the same time, you're doing it in a fashionable way. Because you get to a fashion week.
Yes. And that's been a topic before. How can we make dietetics more sexy? And I think that's what you're doing by doing this magazine part.
Yes. And I really believe it helped me. It really leveraged not only my career, but also my business too, my own private business doing Genki nutrition. So it's both up, right? So it's I have the leverage for Guild Magazine to get into the food industry as using me as a dietitian, but at the same time, using their skills that I don't have, or I don't have the sources to purchase, spending $100,000 on camera supplies, professional. Sure. We're not talking about iPhone X pictures.
We're talking about big time.
Exactly. And just seeing the difference in how the photos look. Kind of the little secret. Yeah. You do Photoshop in your house. Yeah. In your apartment, but you can make it look oh my God, glamorous.
Those pictures are amazing. All the photos I've seen that you've shared are awesome.
Yeah. And so and it's doing your own business and starting up. It is hard, cause there's the capital wise is what is so difficult to do. So, having Instagram and Facebook where it's free, unless you want to boost things, but you can start off your business really slow. And I think that's
is that what you're kind of doing? Is that you're kind of
that is
because how long has your business been? How long have you been running your business?
2.5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. About 2.5.
So it's kind of been a slow process, but now that you've kind of had this part with the magazine, you're starting to see it kind of build and get more momentum.
Exactly. And I've seen people just get up and do it. And you have to understand, even though I have a boyfriend, I don't rely on him for my financial sources, right? So if I end up being bankrupt or whatever, that's going to be my own problem, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, sometimes I see dietitians like, oh, successful, 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. Like, who's backing you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who's your sugar daddy? Because I really want to know. You know, I'm going to clone him, steal him, and then...
Can you share him?
Yes. Can I borrow him?
I would like it on that, too.
Exactly. Can I borrow your retirement plan? Thanks. You know, it's a different aspect when you don't have a trampoline to save you if you fall. And,
that's so true.
And I've been living like that since I've left home, and that was since 2012, you know. So I'm like, okay, so I need to make sure every step I take is careful. I have to be more conservative on what I do, because if I fail and I don't have money, like, what am I going to do about that? Mm-hmm. I mean, my parents were... even though we're from Hawaii, we're from Paradise, it's very expensive, so they don't have that much money. So I have to be very mindful. So, and I've made mistakes. So I was going to do a clinical practice and do counseling after I'm done with work. Some of it worked out. At the end, the cost was too high. So I decided to kind of cut it, and do more things that I'm able to do at cheaper costs, you know, doing blogging or helping branding, because I have an MBA. I understand those concepts.
Yeah. So, I was going to say, you have that whole other component of you that, you know, that does make you more marketable for other things than just dietetics.
Right. So I'm tapping into everything and using it as leverage to whatever I do, and keeping my costs really low. And so, you know, my profit margin is, revenue, and then overall, you know, net income is going to be the highest point it can be without doing that much work. So
that's smart.
Right. That's how you're going to survive as a business. Or, sometimes if, it's also good that I have a full-time job on top of this, because I don't have to be desperate for cash. You know, I have an income. I would be happy with more money because I have loans. But if someone does a lowball on me, I don't have to be like, oh, I guess I have to say yes, because, you know, how am I going to pay rent at the end of the month?
Sure.
I can be like, no, bye, Felicia. You can ask somebody else. Boo bye. Yeah, exactly.
So you do work a full-time job. So is that, because you just recently got your CDE as well, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I have done.
Yes.
You've
done some crazy things.
I have done in less than 5 years. I have gotten, what is it? No, in less than 4 years, I've gotten 5 certifications.
Well, I saw all your credentials and I was like, holy bucket. This guy has got, I don't even know what half of this stuff stands for.
So when I first moved to New York City, when I first moved to New York City, my dream was to, I was single at the time. I was like, I'm going to work in the gym, and then I'm going to work for some professional tennis player who's just coming out of the closet. You know what I mean? I was going to be one of those wifeys on the sidelines with my Gucci sunglasses doing a wave, doing that wave,
and like doing a curl in the other, with the other way,
doing the princess wave, without smiling, because smiling causes wrinkles. So
resting bitch face always.
Yeah, RBF, exactly. So but that didn't work out. Working in the gym, there's so much internal competition. You're not only competing against other gyms, you're doing internal competition, because you have to. Way the structure is, some places, well, this place was, you had to like find your own business, and and then it just didn't work out. And then my full-time job where I'm working now, I was temp, And then they hired me because I worked it. I've mentioned that I want to work full time here. I would totally love work from home. And the pay was really good. They started, most dietitians like, oh, you need to start off low, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, when I graduate, I need to get paid more than $60,000.
And it's good to know your worth. Like, exactly. Don't let anyone tell you your worth. You tell them your worth.
Right. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to get paid more than that. And so I started off actually at $61,000 working from home.
Good for you. Yes. Working from home. So do you work full time from home for this company then?
Yes. I work for an insurance company, managed long-term care. Yes. All telehealth. Okay. Working with the elderly population. And so, yeah, I've been here for 4 years too, on top of everything that I've accomplished and continue to do. That's amazing.
Do you like it? Do you like the working from home aspect on a full-time basis?
It's my dream job. Yes. Me and my friend had this debate when we're talking about salaries when we were done. And I told her, like, I need to work from home. That's what I want to do. I just want to work from home. Because I've had jobs. I never had a job before this that I like totally love. Like, I love going into the office. I love seeing my coworkers, we should go out and party all the time. No. Mm-hmm. You didn't find that. Unfortunately, yeah, I've never have been in an environment like that. I think within the 10 jobs I had, like, I literally I'm only friends with like 2 people.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you tried it and you knew it wasn't like your thing.
Right. Exactly. And it's so much easier to do things when I'm home. I have not only time management, you have focus management too, right?
Yeah.
Get your
focus
things
management.
Done. Yes.
I like that. Focus management.
Right. And so if you want to get things done quickly, you can't have somebody come over to you and start talking, like, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. Waste 1 hour of your life.
And it's gone.
With vapid talk. Yes. No. No, Felicia. Sorry. Bye.
No, I got burst into.
So get my work done.
That's great.
Yes.
And can you get it done in do you kind of have to semi clock in? Like, do you have to be available during certain hours? Or do you set your own hours?
It's set hours that I have to work. Yeah. Okay. It's not super flexible, but it's flexible enough where I can.
You don't have to go.
Exactly. I don't have to curl my hair every day. I don't have to pack my lunch. I don't have to pack my lunch. I just get up in my pajamas and then clock in my computer.
Oh my God. I have so much jealousy right now.
And that's something I think healthcare needs to go to. I think the reason why they're able to pay me at a higher salary is because I'm not overhead costs in terms of using their facilities in the office. I don't have a desk, and so I'm not using their internet.
Your computer?
Yes.
Do they supply your computer? Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they even give me per diem for paying for my internet. So,
nice.
Yeah. So I have, besides the typical politics of work, I don't see myself going anywhere.
Yeah. No, I didn't even know this was I didn't even know this was an opportunity for dietitians. I had no idea this was even an employable thing that existed for our profession.
Yes, it's rare because I think other plans from the people I spoke to who do work for an insurance company, they are mostly health coaches. And I think the fact that we concentrate just in New York City and function, that we're able to provide so much more for our members and for the employees.
That's amazing. I think that's great. And I agree with you. I think that's how healthcare should kind of be going, and insurance companies.
Yeah. So, other than that, life is great. I imagine what my goal is to help expand the Guild magazine. Now brands are reaching out to me now.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I know, working with brands. working with bigger PR firms is starting to happen. And so I'm still climbing, but I'm doing it at a pace, a survival pace where I don't feel burnt out. So, it sounds like I'm doing so much things, blah, 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 but I'm enjoying every second of it.
Well, and that's what it's all about. You have to enjoy it. And it kind of sounds like for you, like part of your business is networking and working with PR firms. And that's a big part. You have to devote your time to that too. And it's fun in the process.
Right. And you have, I mentioned, we talked about it before, like balance it's so important. I go home like once a year, so, I can still enjoy the beach or sometimes, I need to, you know what? I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't traveled for free. I work for, my friend got me into this traveling gig, and it's called Grabber. And so because we're like exclusive members, they will fly you out with some things that people wanted to buy, and you just give it to them. Really? I know it sounds like Broke Down Palace, but it's not.
It's like, wait, what are you transporting?
Did you know? Cocaine. No, it's not cocaine. I promise. Okay, I'm not in prison. It's all legal. But yeah, so like I went to Buenos Aires for that.
Oh my gosh,
2 times last year, and that was free. They paid for a hotel. They paid for the flight, and we just did our thing, took a few days off, and like explored the city. And so
that's kind of the cool things that you're doing that there's a reason why you're doing it. Like people probably like, oh, he just loves to party. Well, no, right. This is all part of the process of keeping you the best person you can be.
Exactly. If I'm happy, everyone I interact with is going to be happy.
Sure.
And it's pretty much contagious, right? So if someone's sad, It's like, oh, I feel down. It's, and don't get me wrong. I still feel sad and I get upset and I get upset. But I handle it myself. Like I go through the process of dealing it with myself, not because I need someone to talk to. If I need someone to talk to, I will. It's just, I've been independent for so long, doing things.
You've learned along the way.
Exactly. I've been going to the beat to my own drum for so long. So, and even got like, oh my God, you shouldn't do that, from friends or closest colleagues. And I'm like, even taking the CDE, I told them like, oh yeah, I'm going to take the CDE, blah, 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 after, certified diabetes educator examination, right after I finish my credential in certified specialist in gerontology nutrition. And you're like, why do you need so much credentials? I'm like, because you never know. If they let me go, I can job hop and get paid more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The more expertise you have, it can't hurt.
Exactly. And well, to be helpful, it cannot be helpful. People can see it as threatening. But I go to the beat of my own drum, and that's
part.
Yes.
So you have to. You do, and you have to make it work for you. And there's no one right or wrong path. Like you just have to make it your path, and that's the most important thing.
Yes, that is the takeaway message.
How was the is that the CSG, the specialized in gerontology?
Yes, that, because I work, my primary job is working with geriatric population, more than 90%.
Okay.
And the exam was difficult because they didn't have sample questions like they do for the CDE.
Oh.
They have a whole handbook. Yes. So literally after I finished my certification in care management, I did that on December 31st of 2016, the day New Year's Eve. After I passed that, I know, crazy.
Yes.
2 months later, February, ending of February, is when I took the exam. I'm telling you right now, never do 2 exams back to back.
Oh my gosh. That'd be so stressful.
Yes, I would finish work, study for 5 hours, go to bed, and then wake up the next morning and study. And then for the weekends, I'll probably study for 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday.
Holy moly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I did for the CDE too.
Yeah, I know. I remember you mentioning you're like, the CDE has sucked the life out of my social life because all I do is study. But that's amazing that you did that. Oh my gosh. Good for you.
Yes. I'm fortunate. I've never failed any of my tests. I all passed them first tries. So.
See, you got a knack. You got a knack. Exactly. They definitely need to be paying you more.
I know. I know. Jeez, I should be swimming in cash. Like, I should have a bathtub of money.
And you should for all your certifications.
Right. But
so you
just go ahead.
I was like, so you kind of see yourself just kind of keep building, kind of stay working where you're working because it's a nice steady income, but then keep working on your magazine, getting out and traveling more, experiencing more kind of the business side of your business yourself. Is that kind of what you see?
Yes, exactly. So my primary job, unfortunately, I'm not using my MBA, but I'm using all the other clinical skills. I'm using my MBA for the magazine and for my own private practice. And then I'm using all my interactions, what I have. It's so amazing when you have people of different expertise to your arsenal. I have friends who are lawyers or friends who, physicians. And it's like, if I need something, they're like, oh my God, can you just look at this real fast? And we can also, even thinking of our own profession, using our skills, our knowledge for bartering, not necessarily for money, but for information that you're looking for. And so it's always a trade-off. I think even for all friends too, like my roommate and my friend, he's in marketing and ad agency. He's an expert in doing Photoshop, making websites. He made my whole website. Unfortunately, awesome. He was so awesome to do it for free, and he did my business cards for free as well. I know, exactly. So, something like that on that high level would have been at least like $2,000, and plus doing maintenance. So, that was amazing for him to do. So, things like that in our profession, we need to learn how to grow outside. We needed to grow in creativity, because a lot of dietitians aren't very creative from come out to. Because when you go to Fancy, right? Like if you're a fashion police, if Joan Rivers, like, oh God, what's she wearing? Girl, stop. How'd you wake up this morning? Do you have gay best friends? No.
Right. You're like, we need to introduce you to some help.
Yes, exactly. Please.
Oh my God.
I will take you to your closet. I will take you to my closet and we'll dress you up.
Oh my gosh. I would love to bring you to my closet and you can just create all new outfits for me.
Oh yes. And throw some glitter on there.
Of course. Have to have glitter and frosty stuff.
But yes, definitely moving forward with this. I see it growing in all angles. There's been some lows for sure. I know last year I had a big low in terms of social media and my own business for 3 months, and I just started. And I was just I didn't know where it was going. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. I had these plans set. So I was working for one of our clients, and they said they wanted to do something international, do a video. And I was like, okay, that's amazing. But they immediately cut that. The videos I did doing agriculture related, which was about $500,000. They decided you know what? We don't need this. And I was like, you would just
seriously.
I know. I don't know. Sometimes then it baffles me how you can just waste $500,000 and not even repurpose links. That's where creativity comes in, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's just keep on moving forward. But I wanted to tell you, I didn't mention this, but the reason why I wasn't going to do my own business until much later, just for financial reasons. So, and the reason why I decided to start growing it 2 years ago, because I had a job opportunity to be a nutrition director for this quote unquote amazing company. My friend told me about it. She's like, you should totally apply. I was like, okay, great. So, I mean, at this time, I just finished my CSG. Actually, sorry, okay. I was in the midst of studying for the CSG, and I was also preparing for this big interview. So they had you come in on Saturday, and I was actually against veteran dietitians, at least for 10 years, that were dietitians, and I was on the same level as them, like the final choices. Mm-hmm. And I've only, at that time, only been a dietitian for 2 years. So I was like, oh my God, like the director position, that's amazing. Like, and in New York City, that's like unheard of. So, and the one thing that really, I knew I wasn't going to get the job. Someone told me, say, just because you have credentials doesn't mean you're smart. And I was like, what? Yeah, we'll see about that, boo-boo. You'll see about that.
Right.
I didn't get the job, and I realized, you know what? I just need to be my own boss. Like, I need to. Like, if I want to say who, when, where, what, I gotta do me. So I was like, you know what? Stay at my own job. I'm still doing okay, still exceeding expectations. So I was like, I'm going to stay here. Start my own business.
You're doing it on your own terms.
Exactly. Yeah, and then start up. And so it's been overall, the trajectory is going very well. So
good. That's good. And that's good for other people to hear that too. Like, don't be scared. If one door closes, there's always another door that you can open.
Mm-mm. Honey, no. Yeah. You crawl out of a hole, okay, with your own manicured nails, okay? And then you keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
You have to.
And no one's going to tell you you're not smart just because you're credentialed. Whatever.
I know. Please. Mm-mm. Yeah. Wow. I was like, took one good look and I'm like, yeah, boo, bye.
Yeah.
So
work with you anyways.
Exactly. So for anyone who wants to start up a business, start off slow. It doesn't necessarily have to be create your own website. It's like simple, like non-money wise, changing your brand of your Instagram or make a Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Do something named like that. Talk about it like, hey, I have my own business I'm starting up. Giving the word out to the people like, hey, I'm starting my own business, blah, blah, blah. You can do like counseling. If you focus, I know some people who may go on walks and do counseling and work that way. Mm-hmm. Or when you start racking up clients that way, then you can go on a platform, or you can, if you want to spend more money, like having a brick or mortar, I would never do that.
Yes. No, yeah. I don't think we need that anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
But I also think I like the point you made about too, like, you don't need to have a significant other that is your bank. Like, you can do this on your own. You don't need to have someone else supporting you, and don't be scared to do that financially, because it can make it happen.
Right. You never know. And that's what the thing is. You have to be fluid. Okay. So you have to be able to, if you're, or even just like a gas, right? You can slip through all the cracks, and you need to be able to accept everything that comes your way. And sometimes that may have to work a little harder.
And it might suck for a while too.
Exactly. It might suck for a while. If in fact, a lot of companies just want things for free, and I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. You may want to adjust it, be like, okay, so I can do this for you, but you have to do more for me. If you're not going to do it, if you want me to do it for free, this is what I want from you. Especially if you're looking for like marketing wise and stuff, because that can be expensive. Like, people don't realize like the logistics of marketing, or doing ads and stuff. People just don't realize it adds up so much money. So if you can do something like that, if they don't have a budget or something, then you can always say, well, then repurpose my things, or when you do have money, put in a contract that you're going to hire me.
Right. And I like that you mentioned the bartering aspect, like not bartering for weird services, but like you said, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and help me with whatever your expertise is. I can do it on my end.
Yes.
That's a really good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all the things that you have going in your big old pot of goodness. You've got so many things going on.
Yes, I do. And I'm loving it. It's been, it's part of, that's why I'm so happy. It's my life. I can do the things that I wanted to do. I don't have to, I was really poor before. I'm still poor, but now I'm like, I'm not as pinching money as much. I still can have fun. Traveling is what I always wanted to do. Go to a different country at least once a year. Now I'm restarting studying Spanish and Japanese.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say you were studying for another certification.
No, I think I'm done.
Are you done now?
I think I'm done. I don't,
okay.
If I had to, I simply because I worked at Women's Infants and Children, if I didn't get my internship, I was going to go for the International Board Certified Lactation Counseling certification. I wanted to do that because I love it. Breastfeeding is so important. And I was like the only male at Women, Infants, and Children. And just like, oh yeah, boobs are amazing. Boobs.
Like, whoa.
But are you a gay man? Aren't you a gay man? Like, no, boobs are amazing. Yeah.
Gay men love boobs. It's okay.
Especially when you dress in drag.
Amazing.
Especially when you dress in drag. You want to have boobs.
Of course. But I think that's awesome. See, most men would be like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I think that's great that you even consider doing that and how important breastfeeding is. It's not because it's just about the boobs. It's that's an important part of nutrition and health, and internationally, especially.
Bougie on a budget.
Yes.
Yes. You poor boo boo. You want to pay for bottles? Give them the boob.
Breastfeeding's great, and it's way better nutritionally. You could tie that into bougie on a budget. You could really do a lot with that.
Yes. No. I'm just waiting to just explode more, and then every creative thought was going to just be a nod. We need to do that. We're going to do that.
I feel like you have this big whiteboard with just glitter paint of just ideas, all apartment.
Oh no, I don't have space for that. But I do in my head. Exactly. Or on my computer. Tucked away ideas.
Aww. Well, I'm excited to see what those ideas are in the future. I think, like I told you, I love how you're embracing just all aspects of your life, but especially the balance. I think that's what's so important for us dietitians, is finding that balance.
Yes, exactly. And even if you're working in a hospital, you're seeing ridiculous amount of patients, 30, 40, it's time to leave. If you're not getting paid enough, maybe you should find another job and then politely say, I have another offer from this place. I want to stay here, but I'm going to need to get paid a little bit more. So those negotiation skills, because that can help you get paid more. You get paid more? Yes, you have to. If you stay there and do nothing, you're going to get paid, not paid. Exactly.
And then dietitians are scared of that, I think. Big time.
Yes, a lot of people are. I think even my friends are in different industries. They're scared. And I tell them, well, if you find another job that loves you, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to barter for your job or for a raise. If you, not quote, it's going to be a nice, hey, what's up? A nice warning. Hey, I'm going to leave, but if you pay me more, I'll stay.
Yeah.
And you've seen my work. It's amazing work.
Right. Yeah.
Do you want the company spend another, usually it's about 150% of my salary, so
probably not.
Exactly. And they don't want to. Even for us, when someone left, we're still feeling it, and it's been mid-November. So we have to, as dietitians, we need to be really, really smart. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. The academy has some aspects of it, but we definitely need to reach out. You know, we shouldn't be afraid to ask, like, hey, how much are you making? Oh my God, honey, you're making too little bit. I tell that people all the time, like, you're making too little. Find another job. And then if you love your job, find another job and barter your wage to go higher.
Right.
That's the easy. Or you can leave and job hop. My friend did that. She's amazing. She went from $60,000 to $100,000 in a year just by job hopping.
Just
she job hop. Yeah.
Job hunt. Yeah. Because she found
exactly. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I can do that, but I don't want to leave home. I was like, yeah. Yeah. So people reach out to me and they're like, oh, you want this manager position? And I'll look at the description. I'm like, I do half of that and I get paid $10,000 more.
I can't do it from.
I know, exactly. I'm like, yeah, you got to do better than that. I'm sorry.
Bad. And you don't even have to leave your home. Yeah,
yes, it's crazy. Always to know what to, yes. And then, things like Glassdoor.
It's always good to look, though. Always good to look. See what's out there.
And great tools to know about industry. Or pay scale. Pay scale is good. Or even our academy, knowing about our salaries. I think, to keep all of those in mind. Or if you go to a place that no one wants to go to, they should have a sign-on bonus, and pay you more, like I'm not about to jump out of here and go to Montana, right?
Yeah.
For pennies and nickels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. No. Right. Gross and expensive. Oh, that's so true. So true. Well, I'm so grateful for my time with you, and I want to be mindful of your time. And I know that I will be continuing to follow your journey, and I hope that hopefully we'll have another podcast in the future.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So, I'll also list your Instagram.
Okay.
Absolutely, but you have to answer a few more questions before I let you go, because I have to ask these questions at the end. So, tell me some of the favorite foods that you enjoy.
Oh man, it's everything. Definitely Japanese cuisine. When we think of the diet, we think about Mediterranean diet. But if you look at from like Okinawa, food from Okinawa, like they're the longest people who lived. And so, that's inspired me too, with nutritional wise, food wise. Japanese food is, oh my God, it's the best thing you ever have. If you ever go to Japan, I could eat Japanese food every single day.
I've never been there, so I will have to. Really? Yeah. Do you cook that a lot?
Yes, I do. Out of miso, soybeans. Yeah, definitely. Sure. I recommend you go.
Okay. It's on my list. I have a long list. I'm kind of like you. I just want to travel everywhere. So let's go. Let's start. Favorite beverages?
I'm a Sex and the City fan. It's so a cosmopolitan. I know. Cosmos. Yes.
Yeah.
Cosmos.
Seriously? That's so awesome. You can Cosmos. That would you order when you go out?
When I was single, a Mantini. Yes.
Ooh. What's a Mantini? Just the same thing.
A beautiful man who brings you a martini and then sits and talks to you while you drink. I just made that up.
Oh, okay. I like that. I'll take one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, funny. So, cosmopolitans, very good. Do you have a favorite scent or smell?
I've been using L'Homme et Saint Laurent for, oh my gosh, for like 7 years. So
that's like your signature.
It is. It is.
Yeah. People know when you're coming. They're like, oh,
yes. Oh, yeah. One dietitian is like, the smell of responsibility.
That's great. Oh my gosh. Do you have a favorite color?
Definitely blue or green. It's like a blend of that. It's very, very tropical. You think of
like the color of the ocean.
You think you're seeing a bunch of coconut trees and greenery, and then you see the ocean. Like those colors.
That color. Oh, awesome. And then share with me what brings you joy in life.
my friends, food, traveling, my boyfriend who lets me do anything. I mean, look, my color, my hair. He just, yes, exactly. The people who allow me to be me 200% and still love me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
you found them.
Exactly.
You found them.
Yeah. Or even, shout out to like, to my three Sex and the City diva girls, like Christy Wilson, Amber Pekonen, Shelly. They've all been amazing. They all see me grow from a dietetic intern into who I am now, and like care who I was. You're like, oh my God, we should be friends. So I was like, those are great people.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you have people like that in your life. That's great. Well, I'm a fan. I love what you're doing with your life. And thank you for being such a great person in this profession.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And I always look forward to listening to your podcast and your crush on Monday, your Monday crushes. I was like, oh, who's this? Who's going to be my crush too?
Well, good. Maybe I need to find some more for you.
Yes. So I'm looking, thank you so much for, thinking about me and helping me get my message out, bringing up the profession. I think that's so important that we need to do. And we need to hold hands together and sing Kumbaya and move forward.
And rock it. And we'll do that.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, doll. There is so much greatness about Jonathan. His perseverance in becoming a dietitian, and then his passion to continue to advance his career by becoming certified in many different areas of health and wellness. Those tests are not easy to take or to maintain, but it is an important part to setting ourselves apart and narrowing in on our expertise. If you don't follow Jonathan on Instagram, it's a must because he's not only funny, he is living life to the fullest, and I think that's pretty badass. My website, AnnElizabethRD.com, is where you can see and read all my latest Embrace the Hell Yeah blog posts, as well as connect with all my previous podcast show notes and links to things we talked about during all my conversations with these great nutrition experts. My book is also available to purchase on my website, and I hope we can connect more on social media by finding me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest at AnnElizabethRD. Remember to be great always, find the joy in each day, and to start a conversation that truly matters.